Hi there, welcome to the Great American Stampin' Show. We are on Season 2, Episode 4. I'm Jodi Reinert, and I'm one of 4 competitors in this little stamping contest. Before I tell you about Episode 4 and what we have for you, I wanted to congratulate Shannon. She won our Episode 3 that featured water painters. If you're not familiar with water painters, this is the card I created for our last episode. If you missed that episode, be sure to look in the playlist here for Great American Stampin' Show. It'll have all of our episodes from Season 1 as well as the first 3 from Season 2. So today, Episode 4 is all about designer series paper. Stampin' Up! Is very well known for their designer paper, the quality of the paper, the great color coordination. So we have exclusive colors at Stampin' Up!, the cardstock ink, markers, all of that are exclusive colors. And the designer paper is made with those exclusive colors. So you don't have to try to guess and hope that the purple you're using on your designer paper matches your purple ink and matches your purple cardstock. All of that guesswork is taken out. It all coordinates. So designer series paper. I'm just going to show you a few cards that I have with the Perennial Lavender Suite and the Perennial Lavender designer paper. So you can see this crumb cake tone-on-tone background. These are just kind of typical ways we tend to use designer paper. It's gorgeous. It just kind of creates a beautiful background and layers on many of our cards. These papers are just stunning. Well, what I've done for Episode 4, for my card for this episode, is I've taken the same pattern, or package, I should say, of designer series paper. And I chose a piece in there, and I'm just going to use a really small, like 3x6 piece to create this fun and unique design, almost like a mosaic on the card. So just a way to show you a little bit of a different use for designer paper. There are so many things you can do with designer papers, fun folds, all sorts of things. So I'm thinking probably some of the others are going to do some fun folds, so I decided to go with this mosaic technique. We don't share in advance what we're doing, so I'm not sure what you're going to get, but as always, I'm sure it will be fabulous. So as a reminder, watch all 4 videos. You can look right below in the description for the links to Shannon, Brandy, and Julie's videos. So watch all of them and then give a thumbs up to the one that you like the most, and that person will be crowned the winner of Season 2, Episode 4. All right, so my designer paper project has this piece from the Perennial Lavender designer paper. This is in the newest mini catalog and can, of course, be found in my online store. This piece is 3 inches by 6 inches, but what I'm going to do is cut it down like I've got the patterns on these 2 Post-it notes. I thought this was helpful just to kind of give you a visual of what I'm going to do with this piece. So I'm going to create this card with just this one small piece of designer paper. So like I said, it's 3 inches by 6 inches, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it in half. So now I've got 2 3x3 squares. So what I'll do first is cut this one. So what I'm going to do is line up opposite corners in the track of my paper cutter. And I'll just set that down carefully and then pull the blade down to create the 2 triangles. And now I'm going to just lay them on top of one another. And then I'll put this flat edge, let me pull it down a little bit here, put that flat edge up at the top. And so I can make sure it's straight this way and then just put the point right in the groove right there. So now that one 3x3 piece are these 4 smaller triangles. Then I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to cut this in half, just line up opposite corners in that track, double them up. Use this along the base, line up the point, and then I've created these 2 pieces, and then I'm just going to take this and cut it one more time. Same procedure, line up that straight edge, put the point in the little groove, and now I've got these little baby triangles. So let's set that aside. I'm just going to kind of set these over here just to give you an idea of what we've got to work with. So you can see that those two 3x3 squares are just cut down into these different triangles over here. Now what I'm going to do is grab a piece of white cardstock. This is 3 3/4 of an inch by 5 inches, and I'm going to do some arranging of these triangles on here. Now I'm going to slip my silicone mat underneath because I'm using our liquid glue, and it's just really nice to use the silicone mat because any excess glue, instead of getting really tacky on your scrap paper, will be on here, and then when it dries, I'll probably have an example to show you because I'll probably make a little bit of a mess. So let's get started. I'm going to start with one of the tiniest triangles, and I'm actually going to put the glue on this side. I'm going to use enough, but not too much. That's the trick. So I'm going to go ahead and place this right in the bottom corner of the white paper, cardstock, I should say. So I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to take another one of those baby-sized triangles and do the opposite corner. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. My goal was just to do something unique other than just take the designer paper and layer it, you know, with a straight rectangular cut. That's what I think we all tend to do a lot of, and it's great, but there's so much more we can do with designer paper. And like I said, there's a lot of fun folds and different things you can do. I'm guessing that some of the other girls will be doing some fun folds. So I wanted to do more of a paper piecing technique with you. Now, on the first two, those little tiny triangles, I put the lavender side up. And now I'm going to do some with the floral side up. So I'm kind of doing the corners first that go right to the edges, just to kind of guide where those inside pieces are going to go, if that makes sense. I think it'll make more sense as we go here. So let me just get some more of these. Oops, I forgot to do it on my mat. I hope it didn't go off. Get some more of these pieces in place. The reason I'm using the liquid glue here is because it gives me more flexibility, like I'm doing right now. Like I didn't set it quite right in the exact spot. So because it's liquid glue, I can kind of move things around just a little bit more. Let's see, I'm going to take another one of these, and there's no particular rhyme or reason to the way I am choosing the side to go up. I mean, I've got a design intended, but you can make whatever kind of patterns you really want. There's a lot of flexibility with it, which makes it a lot of fun. So I'm just going to kind of set this one here. And then I'll pull another one in to kind of set here. So are you seeing what I'm doing? I'm kind of creating a little mosaic almost with these different triangles. There's so many different things that you could do just with triangles, not to mention other shapes you might want to cut. Okay, so I've got all of my pieces in place. I've created this little mosaic here. Let me go ahead and set the glue aside. I actually didn't make too much of a mess with the glue, which is kind of impressive. So this is here. I do have two little pieces left. If you wanted to, you could like place them here and here to give it a little more floral, a little more contrast. It's entirely up to you. You could add those pieces, or you can just use them on another project. So I'm going to scoot this stuff aside and start building the rest of the card. So I've got a crumb cake card base. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. And I just fold it right in half. And I'm just going to use my regular Stampin' Seal adhesive to attach this layer to the card base. And we'll just kind of center it on there. And then I've got this small piece of vellum. This is 2 3/4 by 1.5. And I'm going to put adhesive right down the middle. You're not going to see it. It's going to get covered up, so you won't have to worry about that. And I'll just kind of place it just a tiny bit higher than center right here. Next thing I'm going to do is just take this little strip. It's about 5/8 of an inch wide, and I'm using a greeting from the Perennial Postage, and this says, "Thank you for your friendship." And I've got gorgeous grape ink, so I'm going to ink that up and stamp it right there. I'm going to flip it over. See which side I like better. It looked a little crooked to me. Ooh, that's worse. We're going to go with this one. That's not too bad. Do you think it's bad? It's pretty straight. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. All right. So I'm going to trim just a little bit off of this end, and then I'm going to flag the end. So I'm just going to cut down the middle a little bit, and then from the corner to that point, and this corner to that point. That's just a way to help keep it an even cut. So I'll do the same thing on this end, cut down the center, and then from each corner. Okay, so now I've got my little banner, that's the greeting. And what I want to do is take my, this is the right one, right? Yes. So I want to take some adhesive and just run it along one edge here. And then I'm going to take this gorgeous Pretty Peacock in Gold ribbon, and I'm just going to set this onto the ribbon like this. So I want it to rest on the ribbon, almost like the ribbon is like a layer of cardstock. It's going to layer right over it, but I want it below it like that so that we're not covering up too much of the ribbon. Let's see, what do I want to do next? I'm going to put a little more adhesive now at the top, and then I'm going to take some of these pieces. I punched them out in advance with this punch here, and I used Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. And so I think I'm going to snip the bottoms just a little bit on these. And then when we flip this over, I'm going to just kind of tuck, let's see, maybe tuck it like that, and have this one go over it, maybe under it there. That'll work. And then hopefully this will work here to just tuck that under. So on the back, it's a little bit crazy, but I think it will all work just fine. Stampin' Dimensionals. So you can take your full hexagon shaped dimensional, but don't feel like when you get to this point that it's time to throw it away, because you can just use your fingers, tear the edges, and go ahead and add that right onto your project. And you've got nice thin pieces that are perfect to add a layer like this. So I just peel off the backing, and then we're going to put that right on the card on top of the vellum layer. Oh my goodness. Lots of little pieces. Okay, so this, I think I'm going to do it lower than center just a little bit here. Yeah, I like that. All right, and then the final touch is purple fine shimmer gems. So I'll just peel off some of these and stick a few on here. All right, so that is what I have for you today. I love, you can see that shimmer in those gems. You can see a little bit of shimmer in the ribbon. I think the vellum just adds a really nice touch there too. And that mosaic, that there's nothing super unique about that pattern. You can kind of make it whatever kind of pattern you would like. So I just like the way that the white lines in there with the mosaic help it pop right off of the card. So this is what I have. I hope you've enjoyed it and been inspired to use your designer series paper. to do a mosaic or other types of patterns, remember those really simple cutting patterns, starting with 2 3-inch by 3-inch squares. So go ahead and watch the other 3 videos. Be sure to give a thumbs up when to vote for whichever video you like the most. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.